and welcome back to Face It with Dr. G. We're back. We're so excited to talk a little bit more. And we're going to talk more about the business side of things here at GfaceMD. And I know Jess is an amazing businesswoman and went to business school, and she does have some questions for me. So I thought that would be good and educational for you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. With International Women's Day being yesterday,
awesome.
you know, always awesome to see you know, women shouting from the rooftops about everything everything we've done and how far we've come. And as someone who has an awesome practice and is really building their brand here in Boston, I was interested to see to ask you, you know, really what was your kind of mantra getting started, right? And like, what's your mindset about the business and starting the business, and has it changed since you started to where you are now?
Yeah. Oh, I change every day. But when I started this, failure wasn't an option. Even though I do have a fear of failure. It's always in there, in my brain. But failure wasn't an option. It is healthy. And I was like, this is going to happen. And my whole kind of thing was 80-20 was my rule. And if I was more than 80% confident or sure of any decision I made, I was thinking too hard. 100% was waiting too long. And this was for decisions that were not, you know, treatment-based or legally based in the office and how the office was run, but it's creative things. Like my Instagram. You can always delete Instagram posts. My logo, right? You can always rebrand and change the logo, which we're rebranding and changing our entire skincare line. Stay tuned. It's going to be so awesome. And a website. So my website has been through now 3 or 4, you know, developments and additions and changes and restructuring, and all of those things can prevent people, I think, from moving forward. And it won't be the perfect website right away.
Sure.
And you will have to change it and improve it. And the more you do things, the more you learn. So I know how to get in on the back end of my website, and I do make edits and I do make small changes, and I think it's great.
I think that a lot of people are just so afraid of change, right? Like it's human nature to be averse to change, but it's only, you know, when you're fighting change, you're fighting growth, right? And so I think that's so awesome that you're so open to change and open to, it's not just change, but it's like adapting to the times too, right? You know, you have such a presence on social media. Like you said, you just updated the website, right? And it's kind of updating as you go, and especially as the brand grows and as GfaceMD grows, you have to grow with it, right? So
which is awesome. A little scary because we've had a lot of hyper growth here, and people always ask me, whenever they come in, it's always like, wow, this is new and we're expanding the office and all of these things. The team is growing every day. But it's how do you maintain your quality? How do you maintain your image? How do you maintain your sanity with all of this hyper growth? Because that's what you want. You want hyper growth. You want to grow, but you don't want to combust. So for me, I've had a lot of support with Grant, and my kids have supported me just, you know, being them, and just realizing what's the most important and where you don't compromise. But then other things like website and things like that, you can always change. And I think I've gotten better. I'm such a perfectionist, so type A, that everything has to be perfect. But I gave myself a little bit of leeway with being totally perfect because I knew I could change it. I just wanted to take the next step. But on the flip side, I've gotten a little bit more impatient in the sense that I want it yesterday because I know that if I take that next step, it's going to happen. And it's always a work in progress, but that's how things happen so quickly here.
Yeah. I think it's like you said, it's the willingness to change, but know like where your roots, right? Like your values, right? And I think you just found the business plan.
I found my first business plan. Oh my gosh!
From before you started this all, but like you said, what were my values then? Are they the same as today? Yes, they are. And you know that's why people keep coming back to you. It's because of those values that you hold so dearly and aren't willing to sacrifice, you know, because of the growth and the change. And I think that's so crucial.
Yeah, and. You know, there's different stages of the office. It's like 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, right? Are the same people there with you through all of the phases? A lot of people are, but some people may not be. And I always try to think, you know, what is that and why? But I don't perseverate because we're growing and we are who we are, but patients are number one here. Enjoying being together, being a safe place, being a happy place, and feeling just the best you can feel is always my priority. And I don't know. The moment you don't love it, then there's a problem, right? I did this because I love it. And one thing that really scared me that I didn't know anything about was YouTube. and I had no idea how to film. I had no idea who any photographers were or videographers or anything. And life happens such that you meet people like my amazing team and things fall into place. And now I've learned so much, but you have to work hard. And the first video I did, well, I wasn't nervous, but I was a little bit on edge, and I feel it's crazy, but it's so awesome.
But I think the best thing about you, Gretchen, is that you're not afraid to be vulnerable, right? Like putting yourself out in platforms that you're not used to. I don't know about anyone else, but I love me some Brene Brown, and it's all about vulnerability, and that's what opens you up to having these amazing things come into your
scary,
life.
Though.
It is.
It's really
absolutely.
Scary.
It's so scary, but I love that you're just gonna dive right in head first, and be vulnerable, but that's why as a client of GfaceMD, I can truly say when I come in here, I'm just I'm here. Thank you. I can woosah.
Deep breath.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a safe place where people just want to come, and that's what I want, right?
Yeah.
But being vulnerable too about that doesn't mean you're not going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
And as long as it's not a mistake related to my patients, if it's a mistake on the business side, if I, try to do something, we opened this IV hydration lounge here. And it's awesome, but I realized I didn't have the staff at that time to support doing IVs, nor did I have the space. And so now I have all the materials, and when we expand, there'll definitely be a space. But I don't even look at that as a failure. I just say, okay, I jumped into that fast. Now I'm prepared. It'll happen when it happens. Yeah. But there are failures. It's okay. It's okay. That's how we learn. That makes us stronger.
Absolutely.
That makes us more clear with what we want. Yeah. And it's okay. Do you have to announce that you failed to everyone? No.
But you learn, right? You learn, come back, and more educated, and try it. It's like you said, we're going to go back. When we expand, we're going to open it up again. And, it'll be different. Yeah,
and you have different ideas. So now I ask my patients would you like this in the office, or would you like this in the office? So I get ideas of what they want. People want spray tanning, and they want waxing, all these things. And I'm like, okay, we'll see about that. Well, first step, step by step. But it's really great. And I think hypergrowth is great, but you have to be careful where you, if you grow too fast, you want to make sure that you have clarity on what is the most important, that nothing is compromised. But those creative things, which I'm a very creative person, and I love my Instagram. My first Instagram post about 2.5 years ago took me about 3 hours. 3 hours. And I sat there and I obsessed, and I was like, this is wild. There's no way I can do this. Yeah. And now I can do it in 3 seconds. Yeah. From taking the photo or video to editing the photo, putting it together, putting a watermark on there. And a little tip, which a lot of you guys may know, but instead of typing my text, my substance in my phone, I have an iPhone. I use my notepad on my computer, so you type faster and it syncs with my phone, and then I just copy and paste. A lot of my hashtags and all of that, it's all copy paste from my notes. Makes it a lot more quick. And I'm not like this. That already happens enough, and we don't need to trying to minimize.
Exactly.
So that's awesome. Good. Yeah. So I hope you guys learned something. We'll talk a lot more about the business side of things in future episodes, but thank you so much again for being here.
So happy to be here. Thanks, Gretchen.
Always a pleasure. Thanks for listening. Comment below if you have any questions or concerns or want us to talk about specific topics. www.gfacemd.com is my website. Head over there. Subscribe to the channel, please, and get excited for FACEit Live. That's happening in October 2020. We can't wait. Amazing faculty, education, learning, empowering, awesome speakers. So, see you guys next time.
Bye.